Great news, because Respawn is already hiring new developers to join their so-called Star Wars team, so this very likely means that a sequel is on the way, and we can already make a good guess of when that will likely launch. But what does it mean for the post-launch content support? I want to highlight a lot of info that is out there in this video. A like on the video would of course be super appreciated. And let's go. Jedi Fallen Order is really one of my favorite games this year, and now I just want more stories with these characters and more planets to explore in Respawn's take on this galaxy. And if we go to their official website, we actually see many job openings for their different teams, including for the Star Wars team. So they of course have a team dedicated to Apex Legends. And by the way, fun fact, if you play the game now till January 14th, like you only have to boot it up once, then you get this free BD1 skin for the Pathfinder. Looks pretty sweet, basically the Pathfinder, but with the colors from our little droid companion. Just when you enter the game, you go to Legends, then to the Pathfinder, scroll down, and then you will find this skin. A fun little crossover for sure. Respawn also has another team working on a Medal of Honor VR game that is launching in 2020 for the Oculus Rift. Looks pretty cool, gotta say. And then they have a so-called Star Wars team as well that they started 4 years ago with a team of 5. And now they have 140 developers in that team. Still pretty small compared to other AAA developers, but yeah, they really grew a lot over the last couple of years, of course, to make Jedi Fallen Order. And now they're looking for extra team members, 4 to be exact: a senior character artist, a software engineer, a level designer, and also a senior software engineer. And all these jobs were posted very recently. Like the senior software engineer listing was posted on December 6th, 2019. So a few weeks after Jedi Fallen Order came out, they're already looking for a skilled senior software engineer who will embrace our philosophy and share his or her hard-earned expertise to create an incredible Star Wars experience for our players. So that really sounds like a new Star Wars game, right? They continue, we are picturing someone who is passionate about the Star Wars universe and is invigorated by the idea of coding third-person action-adventure games. So yes, this very likely means the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It later notes in the same job listing that this person will create a game with fast, responsive controls and fluid gameplay. It would be weird if they created a similar third-person action Star Wars game that wasn't a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, right? Makes way more sense if they go and explore these characters more, especially after the sort of open ending. We actually also have Martin Badowski, a senior designer at Respawn, who already notes on LinkedIn that he's working on an unannounced game after having shipped the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I do think that all of this likely means that they are moving away from any post-launch content support and are like focusing on a new game instead. Hope I'm wrong, of course, and that we still get DLC like an arena mode against waves of enemies. That would be awesome. Like to have any new content while we wait for the sequel, and we can already kind of guess a potential release timing for this next game. In the making of documentary that Scarabro uploaded to YouTube, and I will leave a link to it in the video description for if you want to watch it yourself. It's a pretty interesting behind the scenes look. Like what they for example talk about is that they first planned to have Dathomir unlock after Zebo instead of Bogano. So that after Bogano we had to go to Zebo, and then after you finish the tomb there, you get access to Kashyyyk and also Dathomir. But they decided to change that, as we see in the release version, so that the game would open up earlier, and I really like that they went with that choice. Like, even if Dathomir as a second planet is very challenging, you could still choose to overcome that, or you could come back later when you were more powerful. But if you already went there early, then you had the double-bladed lightsaber that you would otherwise get way later. So I'm really glad that they opened up Dathomir earlier. Another interesting part is that they worked on BD1's animations for 3 years, and this timeline is very interesting that they show in this documentary, because we kind of get a sense of the development of this game. So before this timeline, they were just a small team inside Respawn wanting to make an action-adventure game, and then they tried some things for a year and a month, but then they got a chance to do a Star Wars game and of course took that opportunity. And if we go back to the development timeline, we see that they started feature planning in October 2016, so decide what goes into the game, and then they had their first vertical slice, so a small polished part in December 2016, so 3 years before the game came out. And then production started in October 2017, so really where they're making like the different parts of the game. And for the sequel, they of course already have this great blueprint that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Like, they know what a Respawn Star Wars now looks like, so they can build upon that for the sequel. After episode 9, we are going to see a small Star Wars movie break, and then the first live action movie will come out in 2022. And I think that that's the perfect timing for a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order as well. They got 3 years of development. EA Star Wars games tend to come out near a new movie release, if we look at Battlefront as well. So I can totally see them go with this strategy. Maybe an announcement at the Star Wars Celebration in 2021 already. I can totally see that happen, especially since they are already working on this sequel from the looks of it. But we also know that people inside Respawn are working on patches, likely to improve the performance of the game. Last week I showed you this tweet from Ben, the EA Star Wars community manager, saying that the team is working on a new patch now and that we should have more on this next week. So that was actually last week, because he tweeted this on November 30th. No update as of yet. I will of course keep you up to date here once we know more. Fingers crossed for more than just bug fixes and performance improvements, but we will have to wait and see. Subscribe of course for everything Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. A like on this video would be super appreciated. And totally check out my previous video on some cool secrets that you might have missed. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.